source material corresponding values, and again the doping concentrations will be there. Means there are many parameters here. Similarly for the other device also. This is the SPICE description of the model file. And these are the various performance parameters of the IC design. Okay. The performance parameters are like, for any IC, the main performance parameters are speed, power, and area, and again cost. Means for any IC we need, the IC should be faster, IC should consume very low power dissipation, it has to occupy very less area, and again it should be cheap also. Means it should be less costly also. To get these performance parameters of IC design, people have used Moore's law, okay. But nowadays Moore's law is stopped because already we have reached to the atomic dimensions. That is the reason nowadays Moore's law is no more valid. People are trying to develop, instead of developing it more into the MOSFET, they are trying to develop the alternate devices. Okay. Nowadays the fabrication is with FinFET based process people are developing. Okay, because MOSFET, now when we have reached to 10 nanometer and 5 nanometer, we are unable to get the performance because already we have reached to the atomic level. And here, when we try to integrate more number of transistors, we try to get high speed, and again we try to integrate more number of components. Means density is more. The components density is high. At the same time, we are having problem with the leakage power. Okay. Means here an IC, when we are trying to integrate more number of parameters, okay, then the spacing between the wires and the spacing between the devices are very smaller. When the spacing between the wires and devices are very smaller, okay, there are many unwanted couplings are there. Means the coupling is in the form of capacitive coupling and again inductive coupling. Means see here. In the case of small scale integration, on a wafer they used to integrate couple of tens of transistors. But nowadays millions of transistors on the same wafer we are integrating. Means, and again the spacing between each wire is couple of nanometer. Couple of nanometer means which we cannot see also. And again we know any wire or otherwise to any device, if some time varying current is flowing, when some time varying current is flowing means there will be some magnetic field around the wire. This magnetic field around the wire will couple the unwanted, means will couple to the other wires in the form of some noise. Means we know simple inductance principle. When time varying current is flowing through the wire, there will be some magnetic field coupling. This magnetic field coupling is a long range coupling. One wire is affecting the other wire. When one wire is affecting the other wire, it leads to noise. Means injection of noise from the one wire to other wire, it is deteriorating the performance of the system. You see here, that is the reason in any processor, in presence of all these noise sources also, our system has to reach the target specifications. See, these are the various leakage powers. Okay. The leakage powers are in the range of something like gate leakage. This is our gate leakage. Okay. And again, this is our subthreshold leakage. Subthreshold leakage means when threshold volt means our applied voltage is VGS is less than VTH. Also, there will be some current. Okay. The current is carriers are flowing from source to drain. Current is from the drain to source. And again, this is something like substrate current, reverse bias junction, band to band tunneling current. Okay. See here, this is our source junction. This is source, this is our substrate, this is drain, this is substrate. Okay. This is like a reverse bias diode only, because this is our N plus, suppose this is NMOS means N plus P. N plus and P means it's something like a diode only, reverse bias diode. When we apply higher VDS, it is very similar to the case of for N plus material we are applying higher voltage. For N plus we are applying higher positive voltage means it acts like a reverse bias diode. In reverse bias diode we know we will be having more depletion region. The more depletion region also it will be more towards the lightly doped region. Okay. This leads to more depletion region in the lightly doped region substrate, and again similarly here also, when both depletion regions merge together, we will be having another leakage current we will be having. Okay. Here, do you know why the shrinking is with the 0.7 into power generation? What is the importance of 0.7 here? Means we try to scale the device geometries in the form of something like 0.7. 0.7 times we try to reduce the sizes. Why 0.7? Why not it is 0.5 or why not it is 0.9, 0.8? Scaling we try to do with the 0.7 only. The scaling factor is 0.7. What is the reason? Do you know? Why scaling factor is 0.7 only? Do you know Moore's law? As per Moore's law, we know for every 24 months, okay, the number of transistors per wave will be double, isn't it? That means that for every 24 months, we try to scale the geometries with the 0.7. What is the reason of scaling with the 0.7 only? See here, the reason for 0.7 is here. Okay, we are talking from the area point of view actually. Here, see, if length and width both are scaled by 0.7 times, area, what is the area scaling? 0.7 into 0.7 means what is the value? 0.49 is approximately 0.5 only. That tells you that for every 24 months, okay, the area required is half. Means, see, for every 24 months on the same wafer, we are able to integrate double number of transistors. That indicates that for every 24 months, the area occupied by the device is half. That means that on the geometry side, both length and width side, 0.7 to 0.7 times we are splitting means area requirement of each transistor will be half. That is the main reason for every 24 months we are able to integrate double number of transistors. That is the reason we are trying to scale with only 0.7. It's not 0.8 or it's not 0.6. Okay. And the advantage of scaling is here, we get higher performance, speed is higher, and again low power operation, and again lower cost also. But the problems are here when we go toward the higher scaling. Okay, we are having some short channel effects. Okay, our target is to reduce this short channel effects only, because our target is not to completely eliminate. In presence of these short channel effects also, our circuit or system has to perform with the specifications. And the scaling, I told you just now, the scaling is to provide, to increase the speed, to increase the packing density, and to drive the current, higher current, driving current, and again, but it leads to higher power consumption per unit area of chip. To avoid this problem, higher power consumption per unit area, okay, that is the reason we try to add heat sinks. Heat sinks are added, means even without heat sinks and again without heat dissipation units, means on a processor, okay, if you don't use heat sink gel or otherwise if you don't have fan, okay, the corresponding power generated by these processors, it will damage the corresponding processor only. We need heat sinks such that the additional heat which is developed from the processor will be dissipated into the environment. That is the reason when in our labs, computer labs, we need ACs. Air conditioning units are needed because the additional extra power dissipated from the processor will be dissipated to the environment. Okay, these are the short channel effects, threshold voltage roll off, and again long channel we are having constant VTH, but when we move to the short channel, VTH is decreasing. Means when VTH is very less means, okay, but the problem is when VTH is very less means VGS, for simple small VGS values also the device will be on, and again the device is on means there is no problem actually, but here there will be unwanted leakage currents will be there. That is like drain induced barrier lowering. Here See, when we move towards the short channel devices, this drain voltage is higher. Drain voltage is reducing the barrier height. It is leading to the unwanted current. And here there is another problem called punch through. Here punch through means here at higher VDS both the depletion regions merge each other. When both depletion regions merge each other, this leads to unwanted current because at higher VDS something like simple phenomenon of avalanche breakdown. Okay. In avalanche breakdown, okay. When reverse bias is more, carriers will be getting higher kinetic energy. Okay, that leads to uncontrollable current. Yes, there we will be having uncontrollable number of carriers will be generated. Similarly here, the carriers are able to punch through this barrier, and this leads to unwanted carrier current. And again, hard electron effects will be there. And this we are having for the higher VDS values, and again here also the carriers are trying to move from towards from the barrier to the oxide region. And this is the case when the carrier's kinetic energy is more, when it is more than 3.1 volts, it leads to permanent damage of the corresponding device. And these effects, short channel effects, we should try to reduce these effects. In presence of these effects also, our device has to perform well. Means here, we cannot completely make it zero. In presence of these, we try to reduce the effect of these short channel effects. And here, see, we should talk about one performance parameter called subthreshold slope. Okay.